Okay, so it's refreshing to be back after a long time. So as you know, I'm deep into the Apple ecosystem with my Apple Watch, AirPods Pro, MacBook, and of course, iPhone. So what happens when an iPhone user switches to best Android flagship? Well, this is Mrinal, you're watching TechWiser. Even I'm not sure if I can keep it going or how this video will end. But first thing first, let's head back to the studio and switch the devices. Okay, so I finally moved from iPhone to Android, and here's what I learned about the transition process. So even today, it's still harder to move from an iPhone to an Android, but things have improved a lot now. So let's talk about the difficult part first. The moment I walk away from an iPhone, on the same day, I can't use my Apple Watch. And a lot of people don't know, but you cannot use your Apple Watch without an iPhone. And I can't use my AirPods Pro as well. I can use it with Android, but then I lose a lot of connectivity feature, and also I don't want to carry an extra lightning cable. So there's that. So in short, the single decision of leaving the iPhone means around 75,000 rupees worth of gadget will become useless for you, which is the hard part for many people. Now let's talk about the easy part. And well, I didn't expect how easy it is to move WhatsApp data, messages, and overall phone data from an iPhone to an Android phone. Many people complain that they have to pay around 1,000 rupees just to move WhatsApp data when they buy a new iPhone. But luckily, when you have Android 12, switching from iPhone to Android is flawless. And funny thing, I was not only able to move WhatsApp, contacts and SMS etc, but even it moved my alarm settings. That was a bit of unexpected, which I found out the next day. So yeah, while the walled garden is still there, at least the software part is sorted now. And for all those who are wondering what does my daily driver looks like, well, it is Samsung S22 Ultra as my phone, Galaxy Buds 2 for TWS, and Galaxy Watch 4 as my watch. So let's try this combination for a few weeks, and then I will share my experience with you. Right off the bat, the first thing that I really like about this S22 Ultra is the display. I mean, I watch a lot of Netflix and Prime videos on it, and I have to say, oh my god, it's one of the really best display that I have ever seen. Especially for someone who is coming from an old iPhone, the display in S22 Ultra has a wow effect for me. Now I have to say the camera on this one is really good. In fact, the best we have ever seen. We took a lot of pictures as well as shot a lot of vlogs. In fact, we even compare it with a DSLR, which you can check out from this video. But what I really find a significant update compared to an iPhone is the selfie camera. So as you guys know, iPhone in general doesn't have a very good selfie camera, but the selfie camera on this one is phenomenal. And then there are small upgrades like the Flagship 8 Gen 1 processor. Now, I don't game that much, but I do play some of the games and it runs flawlessly. And then there are dual speakers which are really loud, and I can listen to my podcast while having a shower, something that was not possible in my iPhone. And of course, it's not just the hardware, even the software, that is Android, has a lot of perks which I was missing in the iPhone. Like when I was traveling, I only have to carry one Type-C charger for both my Mac and S22 Ultra. Another thing that I like about Android is that I can customize notification for my MyGate app, as well as I can disable Swiggy promotional messages while I can still get the delivery notification. This is something that I was missing in iOS, and it really comes in handy. And finally, I just love the call recording feature, which comes in really handy when you are traveling and meeting a lot of people. On iPhone, well, there is no easy way to record calls, and even on Android smartphone, you can do that, but there will be a voice alert. Manu, can you call me?
Sure.
Only in Samsung smartphones, you can not only record calls automatically, but it also does it without any prompt. Now, whenever we think about call recording, we usually think in the direction of malicious intent, but even if you don't have that, it still comes in handy. And finally, since I have an Android device, how can I forget the good old customization? So I did use GoodLock module to customize the UI as per my requirement. Now, these were a long list of features that I like about Android, but like everything else, nothing is perfect. So there are few things that it missed as well. Let me show you. So first thing is the Face ID on iPhone, which is so much better. So if I keep both my iPhone and Samsung phone here, and if I try to unlock it from the same angle, you see Face ID is working flawlessly. But on Samsung, the lock is not even working. There. Now I know Android doesn't advertise Face Unlock as much as iPhone did with their Face ID, but then someone who is coming from iPhone will have that expectation. Another minor thing that I missed, and I know it's nitpicking, is the dedicated silent button on iPhone. Now these were some small things that we can let it slide, but Android being Android, it's not that polished as iOS, and for first few days it did bother me. let me show you some examples to figure it out. Like see this Android keyboard on WhatsApp. There is a suggestion row, then there is a number row. There are two ways to go back. You can either go back like this or press this dedicated button. Overall, this just adds redundancy. And here is another one which took me by surprise. So if I go to the lock screen and swipe right, as you can see, there are pictures of dogs and cats on a device which cost more than 1 lakh. Now there's no problem with it, but it does look a bit unpolished. Another thing that I didn't like about Android Flagship is that when you pull down the notification tray, as you can see, there is an ads, or let's call it recommendation, but it's there on an expensive phone and it's not even a static one. Now I know you will be like, Mrinal, these are small things and you can easily turn them off from the settings, and I agree. But my point is, this shouldn't be enabled in the first place. But yeah, I can also see the other side. As an iPhone user, they tend to see these small things quite a lot compared to an Android user. And yeah, this transition has also hampered my productivity. Not only I'm not getting the perks of Apple ecosystem, but I also missed a couple of meetings in iMessages. Since iMessages and SMS work differently on iPhone and Android, I had to unregister my number from iMessages and then I was able to get the SMS. Okay, so far things were more or less predictable. There were a lot of things that I like about Android, and then there were a few things that I didn't like. Now all the cons that I mentioned before, well, I did get used to it over the period of time and it doesn't really bother that much. But during our trip, there were few things that I didn't predict it, and it's very interesting. Okay, so first thing first, I'm using the S22 Ultra without the case because Samsung doesn't provide one in the box and the third party weren't available when I was going to Goa. Now as you can see, I'm not the most careful person and the glass is broken, as well as there are a lot of scratches on iPhone. And it turns out even in the S22 Ultra, there's a very teeny tiny minor scratch on the screen. Even with the Gorilla Victus protection, a glass is a glass and it scratches. The second thing that I noticed was I was recording few videos in hot and humid environment and it worked there. But when I came back to my hotel and checked the photos and videos, some of the videos were all black. It had the audio in it, but there was no video. Kind of weird, and to be honest, this only happened one single time, and even after that I took around thousands of photos and videos and this problem never happened again. But the most weird thing that I noticed is the charging issue. It works with some charger and with others it doesn't. And unfortunately it happened during the Goa trip when it was not charging, so I was forced to buy a wireless charger for 2000 rupees at night since I didn't have any other alternative. Now I know this could be a device specific problem and I will try to visit the service center to get it fixed. But on a new device that costs more than 1 lakh, this shouldn't have happened in the first place. Okay, so Mrinal, what's the conclusion? Well, there is no doubt that S22 Ultra is the best Android flagship out there, and it clearly shows as well. It has the best display, best battery life, best camera, and a lot of things that you can do on Android that is not possible on iOS. So if you have the budget and you want best money can buy, definitely go with S22 Ultra. It's the best and I'm so glad that I tried it. But on the flip side, will I move away from an iPhone? Well, that is doubtful. What will happen to this 25,000 rupees AirPods Pro, or this 40,000 rupees Apple Watch, or even this MacBook Pro, which has lost half of its feature because of the Apple ecosystem? And not just that, there is also reliability of Apple ecosystem, that things won't fall apart when you are on the go is a huge thing. Overall, for someone who is deep into the Apple ecosystem, these kind of things does matter, and people like me won't be moving away from iOS anytime soon. Either way, do let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below. It was a big video, but we had a lot of fun shooting it. So it's Mrinal signing off, and I will catch you in the next one.